2022, hosted by AISSMS College of Engineering, Pune.
Paramus 2022 is a platform established to facilitate conversations that will bring to light key concepts and inspirations with an aim to give our budding engineers a new professional perspective and a head start into their professional careers. I wish to enlighten you about the motive behind these interactive series and the motivation that drives us. Our sole objective is to learn new concepts and apply the knowledge we receive from these eminent speakers to build a professional future for us and our institute. It will make way to an intensive educational experience in a short amount of time. The youth is the future of the nation, and it is the responsibility of the college to create a better individual. I'm sure we'll fulfill everyone's expectations with the addition of this new series. Moving forward, I'd like to call upon the CITP head, Dr. A.V. Wagmare sir, to speak a few words.
Good morning. Morning, sir. Respected principal, sir. Respected Brigadier Bodhe, sir, and all the participants and the faculty. Here, I would like to mention about the CITP Center for Information Training and Placement, which supports two placements, all kind of corporate placements and the government placements where also the support is given. Here, this CITP is the different entity which is not seen normally in any other institute. So this is for the students' career building. So where they require kind of training, they require the placement support, they require the counseling, mentoring, they require the industry institute interaction, and then where there is also the need of the alumni and the higher education kind of support. So this looks after about it, and this is the one unique, and always the our principal sir is supporting, management is supporting to such kind of activities where the students are really getting benefited. So this is one of the such initiative of the CITP where the students will be really enriched. So this is in short about the Center for Information Training and Placement, and all the students' career. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for those delightful words.
Now I'd like to invite our Honorable Principal, Dr. D.S. Bormani, to address the gathering.
Good morning, Dr. Brigadier Bodhe, sir, my colleagues and friends. Personally and on behalf of AISSMS, I welcome you for today's for addressing our students. Just I will take opportunity to introduce about my organization. This All India Sri Shivaji Memorial Society is started way back in 1917 by His Highness Excellency Srimanta Shahu Chhatrapati Maharaj of Kolhapur. And under this AISSMS, our college started way back in 1992. We're running 8 undergraduate programs in engineering, 7 PG programs in engineering, and we have 3 research centers. Along with teaching learning process, we try to give the various aspects and inputs to the students by organizing various activities. And I am very happy to share our management, especially our secretary, Malabiraja Chhatrapati, our joint secretary, Shri Shinde sir, the treasurer, Ajay Patil sir, and all are continuously supporting, motivating our teams to conduct various activities and have a various values among the students. So this Paramus is one of the platforms through which we are inviting various experts from various domains, and we are giving inputs to the students. And really, because of such activities and rigorous teaching learning process, we achieved many more achievements in past. College is accredited by NAC with A plus grade. Our college is appreciated by Savitribai Phule University, giving the best professional college award. Our college is recognized by UGC under Paramus scheme, and we are mentoring 5 different engineering colleges for NAC preparation. we are having very good industry institute interaction, and because of which AICT also we are categorized under gold category. There are so many achievements, and it is because of the strong support of the management, contribution of the students, staff, faculty members, and specifically contribution and inputs and um, support from the stakeholders and people like you. So on this occasion, I personally once again welcome you, sir. Thank you for sparing your valuable time, and we are eager to listen you. And our students are always uh, eager to listen various aspects. And today, definitely, they will get some good inputs. So thank you. And over to Sabha.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your kind words. On this grand occasion, it gives me immense pleasure as I introduce and welcome our chief guest for the day. Our chief guest is an eminent personality with 35 years of varied experience in armed forces. Brigadier Dr. Sunil Bode completed his schooling from Sainik School, Satara. He then completed his graduation in arts from National Defence Academy, Pune. He continued his academics by completing his post-graduation in Defence and Strategic Studies from Defence Service Staff College, Wellington, Tamil Nadu. He has also received a PhD in Defence Services from Allahabad University. He's been a research scholar at Pune University as well. During his service in the Army, he's been a part of various operations such as Blue Star, Trident, Rakshak, Parakram, Hifazat, and Vijay. He has also been a commander instructor in the National Security Guards, NSG, director of the Ex-Servicemen Health Scheme, and president of Cantonment Board, Secunderabad. He's been the president of Services Selection Board, SSB, as well. After his long service and experience in the force as a soldier, he is now focusing on nation-building activities such as training and motivating the youth. Being a skilled speaker on topics of national security and personality development, he is now running his own institute, Brig Bode's Career Institute, BBCI, in Pune, to coach students who aspire to join the armed forces and CAPF. He is also a student of spiritual studies and gives speeches and life lessons on Jnaneshwari and Sant Tukaram Gatha. Sir, we are truly honored with your presence and we welcome you. I now request our chief guest to enlighten us with his profound words.
Okay, firstly, at the outset, I thank our principal, Dr. Dattatreya Bormane, and also the students coordinator, especially to name Mamta, and other students and the staff members and dear friends. Today, actually, we are going to talk about opportunities for technical graduates in the armed forces. As far as armed forces are concerned, in this modern world, the armed forces have also, gathered a lot of wind, and we have also become very, very techno savvy, because if you see whichever field you choose in engineering, you'll find, scope for, your employment in the armed forces, because we are the cutting edge or the fine edge of our, national security aspects. Be it the nuclear warfare, be it the chemical warfare, conventional warfare, or cyber warfare, or information warfare. In all these fields, we are at the top of the technological requirement. If you see similarly, the Air Force and also Navy are very, very technologically advanced arms. Okay, so gone are those days when we used to say, okay, to join armed forces, you don't require any skills. No, it has become more important for all the soldiers to be techno savvy. So with this as the introduction, I'll be just giving you exposure as to what all opportunities are there for the graduates in the armed forces, and also thereafter what you need to do to join armed forces. It is not everybody's cup of tea. Okay, you need to have military aptitude to join the armed forces. So with this, I'll be briefly touching on all the details, though they are available on all the websites. but here I have compiled them for you. So I will take a very short, presentation, and I will, highlight to you the important aspects of opportunities for you in the armed forces. Next slide, please. Next. Okay. Next, please. Next. Yeah. See, today we'll be focusing on cadre, this thing, career as an officer in the armed forces. There are other entries at the seaman level or airman level or at the Jawan Sepoy level. But today we'll be highlighting only the officer level entries because you all are going to be engineers, which is a very valuable commodity. Next. Yeah, as far as armed forces are concerned, there is, we all know that it is one of the most dignified and privileged sort of service to the nation. It is direct service to the nation. Okay, though we can serve the nation through other means, but the armed forces, once you put on the uniform, you are directly in the line of duty to serve the country. Next. Yeah, just to for your information, we have got over 13,50,000 plus armed forces. Army is about 12,50,000, out of which the officer cadre is around 50,000. I must tell you, we still have shortage of officers, almost 8 to 10,000 officers shortage. Navy is 70,000 cadre and 11,500 officers, and Air Force also 1,40,000 cadre and 12,625 officers. Now, if you compare Navy and Air Force, the officer cadre is very large because these are highly technical arms and do require a lot of good technical knowledge and skills. Next. Yeah, we have two types of commission. One is permanent commission, and the second one is short service commission. The permanent service, permanent commission, you are required to serve for minimum 20 years. And thereafter, you are open to, retire or take premature retirement and serve outside. As far as short service commission is concerned, to start with, it is for 5 years. You can be given extension first of 5 years and thereafter 4 years. So up till 14 years you can serve, and thereafter, you also get the opportunity to get your short service commission converted to permanent commission, depending on your performance in the armed forces. Next. Yeah, we have already, you have crossed this barrier, so I will not really touch much on it. But at the NDA, we have got, twice written exams and entry. Technical entry scheme is for Army, Navy twice a year again, and Armed Forces Medical College once a year. Next. Yeah, now coming to the students, those who are doing graduation. Now, when you finish your 6th semester and you are in the 7th semester, you are eligible to appear for CDS examination, that is Combined Defense Services examination conducted by UPSC. Next. 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 Yeah. Now, if you see in the Combined Defense Services, we have got Indian Military Academy entry, IMA entry for Army, Naval Academy for Navy, and Air Force Academy for Air Force. Now, these three are for permanent commission. Okay. And thereafter, we also have Officer Training Academy, Short Service Commission, technical and non-technical for men and women. Okay. So this is another place which is very important. You all must, take a good look at this. Yeah. Next. Yeah, the women's special entry scheme for officers. A lot of girl students are there who are very enthusiastic about joining the armed forces. So, grant of permanent commission to women is also on the anvil, and in a lot of fields, the women are getting permanent commission also. Next. Yeah, now as far as very important for you, short service commission technical entry. Now, as far as these two, this is technical entry is concerned, for this you don't have to actually appear for the UPSC exam. Once you are you've completed your 6th semester, so based on your 6th semester CGPA and other this thing details, you can apply for the Short Service Commission technical. Okay, and in this BE/BTech in notified discipline. Okay, so after this you are eligible to go for directly Services Selection Board interviews. Okay, so this is a very important entry or first entry point for you people when you are doing your technical graduation. Next. Yeah, Navy executive branch, in Navy there are 3 different branches, executive branch, thereafter technical branch, and also Adam branch. So in the executive branch, you have got, general service X group, that is mechanical, marine, electrical, aeronautical. This is all electrical engineering fields you are eligible. To become a pilot, any stream, physics and maths at 10+2 you should have. Okay? You can be a commerce graduate or arts graduate also, but as a pilot you can apply for it. Observer, again, any stream, physics and maths at 10+2, then IT and logistics. Now these are the various branches. In this you have got civil engineers as well as architect. So you can see the amount of, now this is Navy's executive branch. So in the executive branch, you can see the scope that is available for the technical graduates. Next. Yeah, now this is the main hub for the technocrats like you people. We have got technical branch in which we have got engineering. You can see a whole lot of fields which are open, electrical field and naval architecture. Now this is a very, very vast field, because you can just imagine a submarine or a ship or various gadgets, whether it is avionics or electronics and communication. You can just see how challenging it is to work under these conditions. Yeah, so there is lot of opportunity which is available for technical branch in Navy. Yeah, next. Next. Yeah. Now this is another very, very highly technology intensive arm, which is the submarine. Okay, again in submarine also we have got engineering and electrical branch. Now if you see here, electrical branch is very, very important. Even for the submarine, this thing. So you can see the amount of scope that is available to you people. Okay. Okay, next. Yeah, now as far as the entry for these technical entries, besides these technical entries, now you also have a naval entrance test. Okay, Indian Naval Entrance Test, exam which is held twice a year, in August and February. Now this is the online examination, and the subjects you are tested in are English, reasoning and numerical ability, general science, maths, aptitude, and GK. Now this is a very important test. Let me tell you, one of the technical difficult exams is the Naval Entrance Test. So you need to actually prepare. You need to prepare for 5 to 6 months, and it is not really very difficult test also, but you need preparation. Okay, especially for the technical graduates, your this thing GK and science you need to brush up. But I can assure you, if you study regularly for about 4 to 6 months, you'll be able to clear. Next. Yeah, then Navy also has got a university entry scheme in which, again, you can opt for executive branch, technical branch, and submarine branch. Okay. In the general service, you have got option to go for permanent commission or for short service commission. The age bracket and all remain the same as applicable, okay, to the technical graduates entry scheme. Now this is done directly from the universities who request for entry scheme by the Navy. Yeah, next. Now again, for women, other than the technical entry, other areas where they can also get in is air traffic control. Now, if you see here, you can be graduate or postgraduate. So even engineering degree can do for this. Then you also have education branch, aviation, cater, and logistics. In logistics, you can be a graduate from any stream with more than 60% marks. If you see in all the tests, generally we are concerned about your 10th, 11th and 12th class because we want students or we prefer students who have done physics and maths or science PCM in their class 11, 12. Next. Now this was about the Navy. Then coming to the Air Force. Now as far as Air Force is concerned, again, it is again one of the most advanced technology, okay, and a very, very challenging arm and techno-savvy arm, okay. So if you see, we have got 3 branches: flying branch, technical branch, and the ground duties branch, okay, in the Indian Air Force. Yeah, next. Now, as far as eligibility, if you see now, this is for basically when you want to join as a graduate. Okay, then you got flying branch, of course, age is below 24 years, then technical branch below 26, ground duties also below 26. Now, if you see for flying branch, you can be a graduate of any stream taken up with physics and maths at 10+2 level. And graduation aggregate should be more than 60%. Okay. Yeah, technical branch B/B Tech. Yeah, no, this is the another exam like INET. You have got AFCAT, Air Force Common Admission Test for officers. Now, if you see, you get 2 chances in a year, and again, the subjects are similar to what is there in the INET. Yeah, AFCAT is as per the experience, AFCAT is comparatively little less difficult, but you need to study. Okay, because especially for the girls, I must tell you, the competition is very tough. So if your written marks are good, then you'll be able to score well. You'll be able to come in merit. The problem is a lot of girls get selected, but they get left out in the merit because they do not do well or very well in the written exam. Okay, so very important that you study hard for the AFCAT exam. Next. Yeah. Now for the flying branch, if you see, height restriction is there 5 feet 4 inches. Okay, that is for flying branch, and other branch there is relaxation of an inch. Okay, you can be 5'3", but otherwise, yeah. Now, if you see engineer graduate with minimum 60% marks, this is for the technical entry. And in the AFCAT, you also have paper called EKT, that is Engineering Knowledge Test. So to be eligible for technical branch, when you appear AFCAT, you also need to clear that test. And as far as ground duty is concerned, again, you need to clear your AFCAT. Next. Okay, so here I have finished about the various entries that are available to technical graduates. Besides these entries, you can also, if you are doing an NCC cadet, like AISSMS, I know you've got a very good NCC unit. See, when I was, the group commander NCC Pune, I had visited AISSMS for one of your NCC day functions. So you've got a very good opportunity. You can also try for NCC entry after, once you are in the 7th semester and you've got your C certificate. Yeah. Now coming to one very important aspect, which, most of our students are not, aware. So I make it a point that, whenever I address any college, I highlight to them the importance of Central Armed Police Forces. Now, let me tell you, as far as engineers are concerned, they are the most or the best suited lot as far as becoming officer in the armed forces is concerned. And whatever students I have, generally almost 75% of the students of mine are engineers. Okay. So there is one more option available to you, like armed forces. I told you, Army, Navy, Air Force combined is about 13 lakh cadre. In the Central Armed Police Forces, we have got 10 lakh plus of cadre and over 50,000 officer cadre. So you can understand, how the avenues which are available. Now, as far as the this thing is concerned, I have listed down, the various forces that are there. In this, if you see the Coast Guard, the Central Industrial Security Force, the NDRF, all these are very, very, technology intensive services wherein you require good knowledge about the technology. So, and even in the general service, if you go for the Central Armed Police Forces, it is a very, very challenging and a very satisfying job in uniform. Okay, next. Yeah, CAPF Assistant Commandant Examination, again, it is conducted by UPSC. It is conducted once in a year. The advantage here is that it is under Home Ministry. So the students who are eligible also get, opportunity to, get reservation quota also in this. Okay, whatever is applicable to other ministries is applicable to the CAPF also. Plus, you generally have 2 papers. And here you have got, besides some physical test, you have got an interview which is for 150 marks. Unlike for the Army, Navy, Air Force, you have to be cleared by the Services Selection Board. And, so Services Selection Board, since I was President Services Selection Board, I can tell you, for SSB, you require preparation, you require to develop military aptitude, and the tests are very, very, I'll say, intrusive and intense. Okay, you are assessed by a lot of people, a lot of assessors, and from different levels and different angles. However, in CAPF, you just have one panel interview. Okay, so here the students were not able to make it in the normal this thing SSB for the Army, Navy, Air Force. For them, this is a very good opportunity. Besides this, there is age relaxation also for the age eligibility is 25 years, whereas for the OBC it is 28 years, and for SC/ST it is 30 years. So this is another very good opportunity which is available even for the technical graduates. Okay, if they are really not being picked up for a job, or they're little adventurous, or really want to don the uniform, then this is a very good opportunity. Okay, next. Okay, friends, here I come to the end of first part, but what is important is the second part. I'll just cover it briefly because unless you understand, what is required about you, from you. So what we will do is we will just take a small break, and before we start the part 2, I'll request, in case anybody has any doubts or any clarifications, so that it becomes little interactive, and most of you don't switch off your videos or audios and come back only at the end. So you can ask certain questions in case you wish to ask. We'll just take a small break and answer the questions so that we can go to the next section. Yeah.
Sir, I'm audible?
Yeah.
Jain sir. So basically, myself Rajneesh Kumar Singh. Sir, my question is, what is the difference between para forces and paramilitary forces?
Okay, very good question. See, as far as para forces is concerned, in the armed forces, we have got the some of the units which are parachute regiments, in which whenever we go for some operations across the border, or whenever we need, we make use of the third dimension, that is the air dimension, for para dropping some of our troops and also weapons and equipment to go behind the enemy lines and operate. So it is part of actually the infantry, which is the main fighting arm of the army. It is part of that. Okay, so we have got a parachute brigade, plus a lot of units who are parachute units, in which the troops, that is the infantry battalions, are trained for doing the para jumps from the aircrafts. Okay, so they have a different role. Okay, so it is a part of infantry only. That is the fighting arm of the army. This is the first thing. Now, as far as paramilitary forces, so when we say paramilitary forces, paramilitary is it is they do the duties of military, but para duties is just part duties. Okay, like we say paraplegic center, or parasite. Okay, so it is in that context that paramilitary forces, that is the one who support the armed forces. Okay. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I hope you've understood. So
yes,
these two are different things. Generally CAPF, Central Armed Police Forces, we call them CPM. Okay, Central Para Forces.
Yes, sir.
Paramilitary forces. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Sir, Assam Rifle is a paramilitary forces, no?
Yeah. Okay. Actually, we did, like the confusion that you are having, we did not want to have similar confusion at all levels. So we labeled it as Central Armed Police Forces. Okay. So,
yes,
because since I've served in Assam Rifles, I've served in NSG, I've also served in Rashtriya Rifles. So, this common, when we started initially, we had this problem. So, it was brought, under one gambit of Central Armed Police Forces. But at the world level also, all the forces which support the main armed forces are called paramilitary forces. Okay, PMF.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah, anybody?
Sir, I have one more doubt, like regarding SSB. Sir, can I ask, or I'll ask later?
You ask after I finish the next part.
Okay, sir.
I'll briefly finish the next part, then it will be related to. Basically, in case you have any doubts as far as eligibility is concerned, or when to apply, when to not to apply, or how to prepare for the UPSC written exams. In case you have any doubts on that, then I can clarify.
Sir, basically, I have a doubt regarding eligibility of SSB.
Okay, so what I will do, I will first just briefly finish the part 2, and then we will go to the question answers on the SSB. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So yeah. Now, what are we looking for? When the student comes to the Services Selection Board, or for that matter, any interviews. Okay. Yeah. Next slide. Yeah. Now, when we say, do you have it in you? So what are we looking basically? We are looking at main 4 factors of anybody's personality. Okay, so that is how we go about it. Now, as far as personality assessment is concerned, our human behavior is at 3 dimensions. One is at the subconscious level, one is at the conscious level, and one is at the group level. Okay, so that is how our behavior actually keeps changing. So therefore, we have a psychologist who basically goes into your subconscious thought process, or your thoughts, feelings, and whatever actions you want to carry out in your mind. So he goes into the details of that. As far as your behavior at a conscious level is concerned, it is the interviewing officer who takes your interview and asks you a lot of questions. These questions are about your educational background or your job, what you are doing, that environment, your family, or your hobbies, or your other things which are related to your own habits. Okay, plus your general awareness, GK. So that is how he makes his assessment based on that. And thereafter, since our behavior also changes when we are in a group, so we have a group testing officer who tests your same qualities when you are in a group. Okay, just go to the next slide. Yeah, now military aptitude is very, very important. Okay, so first thing is, what is the core in yourself? Is it natural ability or skill? There are some students, हम बोलते यार ये बचपन से ही ना ये बड़ा नटखट है, या ये बड़ा शैतान है, या ये बड़ा टेढ़ा है, ये हम बचपन से देखते हैं. So the boy or the girl who is naturally developed, ठीक है ना, who is very active, who likes to do some adventure activities or very inquisitive. So that kind of thing. So is that there in you or not? Then second is passion. Passion is, something which you are passionate about or you want to do or you like to do. Like, when we were child, wearing uniform was the biggest passion for us. So हम लोग बोलते थे कि यार from the school, सैनिक school, मैंने uniform पहना हुआ है. From here, either I go to NDA or I go to police or I go to forest department or I go to home guard. But I will remain in uniform only. So something called passion. Okay. And if you're doing what you're passionate about, the next thing comes is happiness and success. Okay. Happiness and success are, you can say two sides of the same coin. Because if you're happy, but not successful, again, it will not make you happy. And if you're successful, so it will again give you happiness. And thereafter is, so therefore correct aptitude plus positive attitude, will take you higher altitude, that is towards success or satisfaction. Okay, so this is the basic model. So you all need to look into yourself. Okay, next. So we are looking for military aptitude in the candidate who comes. So basically, again, personality, the most important thing you must all note down is, pattern of thinking, feeling, and behaving. So what we are doing, the basic principle on which we do our assessments in the SSB is, your immediate past behavior is the projection or reflection of your immediate future behavior. Okay. So, if you have not been really very hardworking or sincere, so all of a sudden, you cannot start becoming sincere and hardworking. Okay, it is reflected in your past behavior, then only you will remain like that. Otherwise, you will not be able to. So that is why that pattern is very, very important. Okay, next. Yeah, now what are we checking at? We are checking basically these four facets of your personality. Okay, we are seeing whether you apply your ideas, dimag hai ya nahi, how much is your effective intelligence, do you have reasoning ability, is your approach in life to solve problems is practical or not, your communication skills. So all this comes under the facets or qualities of head. Then we also see how good you are at heart, because armed forces, demands a lot of adjustment. It may be social adjustment, it may be materialistic adjustment, it may be cooperation, many times sacrificing your own ambition and also your sense of responsibility. A sense of responsibility and all come through the heart. Like patriotism and all these things are not taught, they come from the heart. Okay, so these are called qualities of heart. Okay, your readiness to make supreme sacrifice. So all these things come from the heart. Then is your limbs, very, very important. Okay, your physical fitness, your physical stamina, mental stamina, your determination, courage, all these things can come under your, qualities of limbs. And thereafter is leadership. Okay, you may be very good otherwise, but if you don't have confidence or you don't take initiative to do a right thing, to become an officer, you cannot be passenger, you have to be firstly leader. That is, you'll have to take initiative and lead from the front. If not a leader, at least you should be a follower of good things or good leaders, so that when there is requirement, at least you will take lead. But as far as passengers are concerned, they have no place in the armed forces, especially in the officer cadre. Okay, next. Yeah, so like I told you, you should be able to use your ideas or brain or your thinking, whenever it is necessary. Next. Yeah, then, example, Dilwala. And let me tell you, earlier we used to feel in the armed forces there is no requirement of studying. Okay, but you'll be surprised. You really need to study quite hard. Okay, and ye Dilwala, Dil Mange More, our Paramvir Chakra Vijeta Vikram Batra. Okay, next. Then, your limbs, quality of your limbs. Milkha Singh. Another embodiment of stamina, courage, everything, determination. Next. Yeah, leadership. Okay. You can see, and let me tell you, military leadership is different from political leadership and corporate leadership, because in no other leadership, yourself and your colleagues, you go across to face, death. Okay. In no other leadership, you are required to do that. Whereas in the armed forces, you are required to lead your men to give the supreme sacrifice. So it is actually a very, very challenging, qualities. Okay. Next. Okay. So for all of you, it is very, very important. Most of the students, what they do is they only try to, appear in the test. It is not test. We are not testing how you write or, आपका क्या बोलते हैं अपना टेस्ट कैसे देते हो. हम लोग ये देखते हैं कि तुम क्या हो. What we have got the technique of getting under your skin and identifying कि कल ये दुश्मन के सामने से भागेगा नहीं भागेगा, ये अपने कुलीग की मदद करेगा या नहीं करेगा, will he sacrifice himself for his country or not. So all these things are assessed. Okay, so therefore for you to start, the first thing that you need to do is you need to firstly understand, okay, ki carry out introspection ki what are my qualities, how am I in all the qualities, and thereafter how do I behave. मेरे subconscious में कितना कचरा है, how much baggage I carry. Okay, thereafter my conscious behavior, how do I behave with others. Okay, what is my approach, what is my attitude towards others, and similarly in the group also. Okay, yeah, next. Yeah, now we are open to questions. Okay, now whatever questions you want to ask, you can ask. Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for that enlightening session. Moving further, sir, I would like to ask you some questions that the students have for you.
Yeah.
Although we have some prior knowledge about the Territorial Army, could you elaborate on the duties and responsibilities that a TA officer has to fulfill?
Okay. As far as the Territorial Army is concerned, it is like I told you, there are a lot of students, who want to join armed forces but do not get chance, and they realize later that, oh, I want to wear uniform, or I want to be in uniform, or I want to serve the country. Okay, so for this, there are some secondary type of duties, which are not directly fighting the enemy or this thing, but they could be, we have got various duties, operational duties, which are required to be carried out, for which we require trained manpower. Like we have got, our TA battalions, which are ecological battalions. There are some TA battalions which look after the train services. They're technical officers. When during the war they help us. Then during the war they also help us in securing the rear areas. our ammunition installations, our nuclear installations. So all these type of duties which are not directly in the face of the enemy, we require some manpower or trained manpower who, when it is required during the war, they can be enrolled and they can serve us, okay, and help the armed forces to perform their duties. So as far as territorial army is concerned, it is a sort of secondary job. That is, you should you can do any job. The entry is till 40 years of age, okay, and you can serve your country. I'll tell you a classical example. One of my student, he is from IIT Mumbai, and thereafter he has done his post graduation from Technical University Singapore. And this boy came to me at the age of 35, 36, and he said, "Sir, I want to join the territorial army." So I said, "Why?" He said, "Sir, when I was in class 12th, I wanted to appear for NDA, but my father said, no, you will not join armed forces. You are good in studies, so you go to IIT and all. You study hard, and you don't go to armed forces." So he said, that is how I went to IIT and all, and thereafter I never got chance. So he said, unfortunately, my father died 2 years back, and now I'm free from my father's side, but I want to wear uniform. Okay, so this boy from Mumbai, he was coming to me every Saturday, Sunday, and he is doing, mind you, IIT Mumbai, very highly qualified boy, and was very good package. Okay, very good package. So, but that passion was there. So, he joined me. He used to come for 4 months. He used to come every Saturday, Sunday for attending the classes. And this boy, he cleared his return UPSC, and then he cleared his SSB, and now he's finished his training, and he is in uniform. Okay, so therefore, it is for these people, and I'm very sure that when the time required, we all have, patriotism and, feelings for our country. So, it gives you an opportunity to serve your country directly when especially required. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. So next question. So while appearing for SSB, a lot of people have concerns that what will be the difference between being confident and being overconfident.
Okay, very nice. Now, see, there are some students who feel ki I'm very good. Okay, so he just walks in and he tries to do something. Okay, now there is a very thin line between confidence and overconfidence. Now what happens is there are so many examples actually overconfidence ka, wherein suppose you feel कि अच्छा यार मैं तो obstacles है या physically मैं fit हूँ तो मैं सब कुछ कर लूँगा. But when the boy goes there and he starts doing the obstacles, they are very, very simple obstacles. Okay, very simple obstacles. But because he doesn't take care, he either has a fall or he feels ये तो मैं आराम से कर लूँगा. So you have to focus. Okay, you have to focus on what you are doing. I'll give you another example. One of the students who was there, I was making assessment for the GTOs, and there was lecturettes going on. So one boy, he got he was not really very well prepared, but very confident. So he was, sort of overconfident. So when he saw the 4 topics that he got, one of the topic was, which is supposed to be a simple topic, my first day in college. Okay, and this boy is required to speak for 2.5 to 3 minutes. So he chose that topic. He started very well, but after 40 seconds, he didn't know what to speak. Okay, so now what happened? He actually was overconfident. Okay, so for first 30 seconds he spoke very well, but thereafter he was blank. Why? Because he thought, I am a very good speaker. First day in college is a very simple topic, so I'll be able to speak comfortably. But he couldn't. So this is a small difference between being confident and overconfident. Because when you are overconfident, you are actually trying to dominate others for without listening to others.
Yes,
yeah.
Sir.
Along with this, I'll tell you one more thing, especially the technical graduates. Now, what happens in the SSB? We have got stage 1 and stage 2. So in the stage 1, there are two basic tests. One is the OIR, Officer's Intelligence Rating Test, which is a sort of IQ test, which has got verbal and non-verbal content. And the second test is the PPDT, Picture Perception and Description Test. Now, what happens, because for the technical entry, lots of students come. In one day, we have got 400 to 500 students who come for the SSB. And let me tell you, that day we have tough time. We don't even get time to have lunch, because we want to finish off this boys test by 3-4 o'clock and then send back the students who are not cleared stage 1. So in this now, what happens, firstly, since the rush is quite a bit, there is no filter, that is UPSC exam filter. Then a lot of students who come who are actually not really well prepared. Their level of or their caliber is very low. So in the result, what happens? There are a lot of good students also who get stuck. Okay. So therefore, I will suggest to you people, when you are in the 4th year, you should start preparing for AFCAT, INET or CDS. Okay, because that is the one which will firstly build up your knowledge base, and it will make you better for the SSB. Because AFCAT, INET, SSB, the rush is not really much. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you. What advice do you have for aspirants that are appearing for SSB after facing rejection earlier?
Okay. Now, like I told you, see, there is nothing called rejection actually. We say not recommended, because there are so many examples, wherein students, who have really not given up and who have actually made improvement in themselves. I can give you some classical examples. There are some students who joined me for NDA SSB, and in my initial assessment, I told that boy that you are a no-go case. Okay, because he had a lot of double standards. He tried to show that he's very brave, but he was not. He was anxiety-ridden. So many things were there. Complications were there. So he was almost on the verge of breaking down. Then, but he did not leave me, and he remained as my student for 4 years. Now he's in the Indian Air Force Academy and one of the toppers. Okay, why? Because he has made a lot of improvement in himself. Okay, lots of improvement. Because your personality is all your thought process. How you change your thoughts. Because unless you change your thoughts, your feelings or your behavior is not going to change, and it takes time to change your thoughts. Okay, to imbibe fresh ideas or new ideas. Similarly, I'll give you one more example. One of my students, in fact, one of the candidate who came for the SSB, he had come for the 17th time for the SSB. Okay, so when I started interviewing him, I found him very knowledgeable and very upright, very sincere, hardworking. So I asked him, why 17th chance? You think you have not been able to make it till 17th chance. So he told me, sir, I'm a student who used to stammer when I started my first SSB from NDA. Okay, and he had come for his IMA entry, and by then he had done NCC everything. So he said, I was from Hindi background, I couldn't speak English, even one sentence. But he said, sir, I kept on working hard, and he did speech therapy for 2 years. He improved his speech. It was only when he mentioned to me that, sir, I used to stammer, I was surprised myself. Okay. Then he told me in the end, sir, now I am through for my civil services. I have already cleared my prelims and also the second part. So, so I was the one, I said, okay, very nice. I'm very happy that, you've been really, but he said, sir, every SSB I came, I kept on learning about myself and I kept on improving. So, there are students with 10 chance, 12 chance, 15 chance who have got selected. But that person has worked very hard. Like somebody comes to me and he says, sir, I'm from Marathi background and, my communication skills are weak. So my next question is, okay, both things are understood. So what have you done to improve it? He says, no, sir, mere se hota nahi. So we say, okay, then that means you neither have the caliber nor the determination to do it. Okay. So English, this is one of the problem with most of the students speaking English. Let me tell you, English is a burden for the nation, but we can't help it. Okay. So because it is a foreign language for all of us, But let me tell you, just put in 6 months of hard work. 6 months of hard work and your English will be sorted out for life. Okay, yes. So it is all how you tackle a problem. Tomorrow you become an officer and you say, Acha, so and so problem is there, I can't solve it or I can't do anything about it. Then you'll be nowhere. You'll not be able to tackle any problems. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, another question that students have is, while preparing for examinations, they usually tend to get distracted and overwhelmed. Could you please suggest some practical methods by which we can avoid these feelings?
Okay, very nice. Very good question. In fact, let me tell you, this is a problem being faced by lots of students. Why? I will tell you. Everything is available online. Okay. So now what happens is we want to see YouTube, we want to listen to other people and everything, but the study methodology which is there, you have to adopt correct study methodology. See, any exam you are going to appear, unless your study methodology and your strategy is correct, you will not be able to clear the competitive exam. So what is the study methodology? There is an old saying which says knowledge ends at the tip of the pen. Okay, so unless you make your own notes, unless you take the complete syllabus, make notes, understand the subject, sit, and best, I can tell you, with the facilities that are available now, or the technology which is available now, there is no dearth of knowledge. Okay, so it is your approach. Okay, कि तुमको क्या लेना है और कितना लेना है और what you need to study. Okay, whether it is civil services, whether it is armed forces or anywhere, you need to put your pen on the paper and you need to make your own notes, focus on that, then you'll have something to focus on. Okay. Okay, so therefore I keep giving this example to a lot of students, since you brought out that I'm a student of spiritual studies also. We all agree that God is everywhere. But then why do we Sagun Puja or why do we go to, the pilgrimage is basically to focus, to focus our attention, to focus our preparation, everything. So similarly, unless you make own notes and, follow complete syllabus thoroughly, you'll not be able to clear it just by hearing on YouTube and this thing. Okay, and let me tell you, all these examinations, they are objective type exams. So in the objective type of exams, you need to have objective knowledge. Okay, so for objective knowledge, this next stage is your revision. Unless you have revised, you'll not be able to clear the exam or score well. And there is another rider which is negative marking, which which lures us into a trap wherein we say, "Acha yaar, theek hai, dekh lete, hoga to hoga, nahi to nahi hoga." No, that is not the way to face competition. In fact, all the toppers who have been, I've interacted with me this thing. So they told me, sir, like you told, whichever question I was not clear about the answer, I left it. And that is how, they were able to top it. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So by studying a current degree of engineering, how will it be beneficial to have graduation in armed forces for technical opportunities? And how can we pursue both of them at the same time?
Okay. See, as far as once you join the armed forces as a technical entry, after a few years of this thing, you will get opportunity to do your post-graduation because you've done already an engineering degree. Okay. So you'll also get chance to do post-graduation degree wherein you'll have to, appear various exams and your overall performance and the vacancies that are allotted to the, various technical branches of the armed forces. So there is no dearth. See, if you're good, you can even go on deputation to DRDO. It is all you. It is your capability. If you're capable, there are a lot of avenues.
Yes, sir. Sir, are there any cybersecurity jobs in the army?
Yes, it is a very important task. We have got our wireless units, our cyber security units, and cyber warfare is one of the most important, warfare means in the modern world and modern warfare. Yeah, yes. There is a lot of scope. In fact, let me tell you, cyber warfare is one of our main concerns. Okay, main concerns, because there is going to be more of cyber warfare and space warfare in future.
Okay, sir. So another question is, opinions usually differ from person to person. So you have headed various teams, and sometimes there are situations where there is discontent within the team itself. How can this be handled?
Okay, see, the first problem with the discontent is, the leader has to be very, very impartial. Okay, the discontent starts when, there is a problem about, the judgment made by the seniors, or if they're showing partiality. That is the first thing. Second thing is, if you're very, very impartial as a leader or as a boss or anything, then what happens? And communication. Second thing important is communication. If there is a person who doesn't work or he doesn't have a particular skill or capability, unless you tell him, okay, he will never realize. So once he has been told and, he doesn't improve, then he has to be told again, or he has to be given his due. So he knows कि हाँ यार मेरे से ये नहीं हो रहा है, that is why I am getting a raw deal. Yeah, but if there is no communication, then there will be no, satisfaction of his ego or his, abilities. Okay. So actually, it comes more on the management side when you want to keep your team together. You have to give their due to the person. Nobody is successful alone, and in the armed forces, it is a team. Yeah.
Yes. So another question is, could you please narrate one incident which you felt was the toughest, and how did you yourself overcome it?
Okay. Yeah. One of the toughest actually situations was, we are in Jammu and Kashmir, and that time, there was Fidain attack on our, headquarters, and it was at night 1:30, 2 o'clock. I was on leave. I had come back from leave at 11 o'clock at night, and just gone off to sleep. And all of a sudden, night there was a Fidain attack. So we fought throughout the night, and in the morning we were able to neutralize the 2 terrorists, but it was at a huge cost. We lost about 8 Jawans in that attack, and a lot of casualties took place. So we kept on running whole night to neutralize this 2 Fidains, but then such operations are very tough. Okay. And so you keep facing. This is one of the incidents. So yeah.
Okay, sir. If there are any questions from the audience, please feel free to ask them right now. You can raise your hands, and we'll unmute you. Yes, Rajneesh.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Jai. So my question is, if a person is in second year and cleared his CDSE exam, so can he appear the SSB?
No. See, now what happens is, when you are joining the, academy, you should have completed you should have your graduation certificate. Okay. So now what happens when you are in the 7th semester, if you appear for the UPSC exam, then by the time you finish your process of SSB, your merit list, everything comes, it is so designed that your engineering degree is with you. Okay. And if you're doing normal graduation, then when you're in the 3rd year or when you're in your, 5th semester, that is the time you can appear, and thereafter, after the 6th, once you finish your graduation, you have your graduation certificate. So otherwise, you're not eligible.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
And so one more question.
Yeah.
So while doing engineering, like we are not directly connected to the armed forces, like studying, preparing for CDSE or anything. So how one person can stay connected to it and like continue his preparation throughout that?
Very, very good question. Very good question. Now, see, what I keep telling my students is, when you're in the engineering, there are a lot of students who are with me for military aptitude development. It's a very simple course to bring in, changes in your thinking, your feeling, and your behavior. So students join me when they are in the 2nd year, and by the time they finish their 3rd year, they are actually ready for going for SSB. Okay. So what I keep telling them is, firstly, just give me 45 minutes of physical exercise or physical activity in the morning and 1 hour of your preparation or study every day evening for when you're in the second and third year. And if you're in the third year, give me 1.5 to 2 hours. Okay, na? So but what is happening is, most of the students they want to study only when the exam is coming near. With the result, what happens, they're not able to actually be confident or able to do well. Okay, so that is not the way to approach a competitive exam. Okay, because there's a lot of competition, let me tell you. There's a lot of competition. So therefore you need to prepare yourself. Yeah.
And so one more question. Yes, sir. Should I attempt the CDS, like armed forces exam, or not? Like from second year only, I should attempt or not?
You can attempt. There is no problem. 250 rupees dena padta hai. Basic fees is required to be given. You appear and you will get to know where you stand. Thereafter, yes, if you clear, but still you will not be eligible for going for the SSB. Okay, so I will suggest कि चलो with preparation appear करना, एक आध बार mock test के तौर पे you can appear, there is no problem, but it will take you nowhere. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I wanted to ask how to perform well in the psychological tasks of the SSB.
Okay, so how to perform well in the psychological tests. So psychology is basically you have to change your thinking. Okay, introspection. See, I'll tell you, attempting a test is a matter of process. Okay, it is just a process. But what you are, unless you have changed your thinking, your feeling, your behavior, it will not reflect in your psychological tests. Okay. अगर तो समझो आपको किसी चीज का डर है, ठीक है ना, तो जब तक आप वो डर अपने मन से दूर नहीं करोगे, ठीक है ना, तब तक it will not get reflected on paper.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so psychological test, unless you actually help somebody or actually you have a helping nature, it will not reflect in your psychological test that you are a helpful person. By saying I am very helpful person, you don't become a helpful person unless you have actually done it, unless actually you have sacrificed your own comfort and then help somebody. Okay? So for that you need to develop that type of aptitude or attitude, you can say. Sorry. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So unless you change your thinking, see, there are 3 stages. Okay, I keep telling you all can also note down. There are 3 things. Personality is basically pattern of your thinking, feeling, and behavior. We try to only change the behavior. Okay, so that is not the end result. Unless you change your thinking, you will not be able to change your behavior. Otherwise, it will be just in the passing, ki 2-4 din ke liye kar liya, then again you come back to your old behavior. No, you change your thinking. Okay, then you will be able to do everything. Similarly, most of the students, what happens is when they are going for SSB or for doing anything in life, whenever you to confront a problem or solve a problem, there are 3 stages. Okay, so generally what happens, we jump directly to the 3rd stage. So since you had asked a question, what is difference between confident and overconfident? So the 3 stages which are there, the first stage is to understand the problem. Okay, or grasp the problem. Okay, thereafter is analyzing the problem and creating options to solve the problem, and thereafter is taking the practical option or the option which you can actually solve the problem. Now what happens, most of the students, they straight either jump to the second stage or 3rd stage, and most of us, since we know that we are very intelligent, we directly try to take the 3rd jump. So when you take the 3rd jump, you are overconfident actually. When you go to the 2nd jump, you are confident, but still you are in the process of analyzing, because when you start analyzing, then you start grasping also. So first stage is very, very important. So समझो, सोचो, फिर करो. So this is the basic, you have to train your mind. So unless you have trained your mind for this, for say 1.5 years, 2 years, 3 years, to tackle problems in this manner, you will not be able to be successful. Yeah.
Yes.
तो अपनी सोच बदलो, बाकी सब बदल जाएगा. Psychological test वगैरह क्या है? It is just matter of writing, but what is there inside is more important.
Yes,
sir.
Yeah.
Nupur, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Yes. Good afternoon, sir. Myself, Nupur Vakare. I had a question about UPSC preparation. How can we prepare and what is the paper pattern exactly about that?
Different tests, they have got different papers, but by and large the syllabus of CDS, AFCAT, INET is more or less same. Okay, you'll have English, basic English, which is 25 marks, 25% in all the three. Okay, you'll have technical knowledge, another 25-30% in all the three. You'll have current affairs, general knowledge, social studies, 25 to 30% in all three. Okay, so they have specified the syllabus. I've got a comparative statement of the syllabus also. So we have gone through it. So we find it quite, there are very less variations in the syllabus as such. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Shrishti, you can ask your question.
Hello, sir. Jai Hind.
Yeah.
Myself, Shrishti Yadav. Sir, I wanted to ask that what all should we include in the 1 hour evening session, which you were actually mentioning before?
See, 1 hour session is what you can do is, there are basically 7 important subjects which are there. So what you can do is every day go as per syllabus. Like Monday, suppose most important thing for a 4G or for Air Force or INET is, your geography. So start with geography. First, Monday geography, Tuesday history, Wednesday your social, political science. Thereafter you come to your English. Then since you people are, science graduates and all, maths and science, if you feel important, you can devote for that. Thereafter is your current affairs, 2 days, Saturday, Sunday. One is national affairs, one is international affairs. तो ये 7 दिन हो गए. इसको इवनिंग में आप एक सब्जेक्ट का बनाते जाओ. You'll find after 6 months all your notes are ready. First set of notes are ready. Okay, and morning mein again I'll tell you in the the basic standard you should be able to reach is you should be able to run 3 kilometers in one go. For boys 15 to 18 minutes, for girls 18 to 20 minutes. Okay, thereafter you should be able to do push-ups in one go. Boys should be able to do more than 30, and girls should be able to do more than 25. Okay, in one go. Once you go on your hands, you should be able to pump yourself up and down for 25 times for the girls. Thereafter, there is something called pull-ups and chin-ups. Now, this is very, very important for building your upper body and also developing your biceps and triceps. Because as far as training and the tests are concerned, when you go to the academy, the standard for boys and girls, there is very less variation, but they are required to pass all the tests. Okay, so upper body strengthening, especially in the form of pull-ups and chin-ups on a horizontal bar, is very, very important. Okay, so you are able to do tarsal swing or any activity which you are required to do, you will be able to do well. So that is what my requirement. The morning 45 minutes you must sweat out, and evening 1 hour for your this thing. You give it for 6 months, you'll find you are a changed person. But consistency very important.
Yes, sir, surely. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Abhishek, I think you can ask your question.
Yeah.
Jain sir, myself Abhishek. Sir, how to introspect yourself, sir?
Okay, how to introspect yourself. Okay. Now, what we can do is, it's a very important aspect to carry out introspection. There is something called various qualities, which I just gave you a glimpse. Okay. Now, what happens is, to carry out introspection, you need to really be truthful to yourself. And, sometime in case, the college permits me, I can conduct a session online or offline wherein I can tell you how to go about carrying out introspection. It's a very important exercise, and in fact, I have devised one model in which the student is helped to carry out self-assessment. Okay, so we can do that sometime, but it's a very lengthy process. But to yourself, if you ask your heart now, how good or how bad you are in each of the qualities, okay, you will understand. In fact, your parents, your friends, your teachers keep telling you, but we don't listen. घर में मदर बताएगी, अरे जाते जाते लाइट ऑफ कर देना, ठीक है ना? तो what is it? It shows कि your sense of responsibility is low. Your mother has to tell you कि लाइट ऑफ कर देना, ठीक है? सिंपल चीज, ठीक है ना? टीचर कीप्स टेलिंग यू, टीचर लुक्स एट यू, ही सेज कि यार इसने तो बाल भी नहीं बनाए हुए, ठीक है ना? तो वो टीचर विल नॉट इवन लुक एट यू और आस्क यू एनी क्वेश्चन. So in other words, he is telling you that you're not really very well, your appearance and this thing is very shabby. I don't even feel like talking to you, but you're not taking cognizance of that. ठीक है ना? You go to your friend will tell you, यार तू तो बड़ा बेवकूफ है, तेरे को इतनी सिंपल चीज नहीं आती है, ठीक है ना? तो he'll say कि कोई बोलेगा यार तू तो बड़ा आलसी है यार, 8 बज गए अभी तक उठा नहीं. So in other way, he is telling you are a lazy chap. Your time management is not good. Okay, yes. So there are so many things. The environment, external environment keeps telling us, but we don't listen to it.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, Rajneesh, please ask your question.
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, in my last interview, I figured out my speed of decision making is not appropriate, like not that much. And for that, I'm started working on it. Still, I'm not able to find out like. So how one can make his speed of decision making is good, like.
Okay. Now, first thing, why do we take time to make decision? Okay. First thing is we don't understand the problem correctly. Okay. We don't give attention to understanding the problem. Okay. Then since we have less experience, we do not explore options to solve the problem. We only think one track mind, एक ही उत्तर हो सकता है. No, there can be more than 1 or 2 ways to solve the problem. So we don't explore our, tax our brain or to, tax our thinking to create options to solve a problem. And one of the biggest problem is we are afraid of making mistakes. See, the biggest problem in decision making is once you are afraid of making mistakes, your decision making will be very slow and wavering. Okay. So therefore, don't worry. You make a mistake, doesn't matter. ठीक है? Who doesn't make mistake? Everybody makes mistake. You and I make mistake. Everybody makes mistake. But just because the more mistakes you make, more you learn. But don't keep repeating the mistakes. Then it becomes being overconfident or stupid or foolish. Okay. So it doesn't matter. The very fact that you realize, okay, I have a problem in decision making. Now you can start. Okay. You can start. Yes. Koi galti hoti hai, doesn't matter. Everybody makes mistakes. Our students, I keep telling them, don't be afraid of making mistakes. Galti karo, koi baat nahi. Jab tak galti nahi karoge, सीखोगे कैसे? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. I'm sure that everyone learned a lot from this session. So I would like to begin by saying how privileged and honored I am to have been given this opportunity to extend the vote of thanks for this wonderful occasion. First and foremost, I would like to thank our chief guest, Brigadier Dr. Sunil Bode, for taking out precious time from his busy schedule to grace this occasion and for imparting such fruitful motivation within us. I would also like to express my profound gratitude towards Principal Dr. D.S. Bomani, sir, for giving us the opportunity and responsibility to organize the program. I would also like to express my gratitude to our CITP head, Dr. A.V. Wagmare, sir, for his constant support and goodwill. I would also like to thank the faculty members and dynamic student coordinators for their guidance and rigorous motivation, and especially to each and every one of you who made the time to attend and participate in this program as an incredible audience. Now, I request all participants to kindly switch on their cameras for a photo session.